So Arsenal have signed Declan Rice for £105 million, making him the most expensive English player ever in the history of the game. Now, these are my expectations for Declan Rice in the next 5 years before he completes his first Arsenal contract. We're going to be diving into what I think Declan Rice has to achieve to be a success at Arsenal. In the comment box below, I want your thoughts, I want your opinions. Do you think Declan Rice will be a success? Now, in my opinion, I think he will be a success, but the expectations I have for him are similar to the expectations Liverpool have got from Virgil van Dijk and Alisson combined, because Virgil van Dijk and Alisson both cost a total of 140 million for Liverpool to sign them, and we can say that the 140 million invested was really realized. They've won the UCL, they've won the FA Cup, they've won the Carabao Cup, they've won the Premier League in that period as well. They've played 2 more UCL finals that they have lost, and they've also finished twice in second behind Manchester City. So if you look at those record signings for Liverpool, they have given them a UCL, a Premier League within a space of 5 years. What are my expectations for Declan Rice, and why I think in the next 5 years, if he has not met these expectations, Arsenal will have invested the 100 million wrongly. Hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast as well. In the comment box below, let me know what are your expectations of Declan Rice. Of course, we know he's going to be a mega signing, a huge signing, one that changes the landscape of the Premier League, one that changes the landscape of the top 4 as we know it, or as we've known it for the last half a decade or 6-7 years. I think he makes Arsenal top 4 contenders every single season. I think he guarantees us top 4 every single season for the next 7-8 years. But what are my real expectations for Declan Rice? If this video gets to 500 likes, I'll do my expectations for Julian Timber and Kai Havertz as well. Let's start off with the on-field. 1, goals. 6 to 7 per season. Now, he plays as a defensive midfielder, and at times he gets the license to travel high up the pitch, create chances, score goals as well. And for me, the fact that we're signing Julian Timber, the fact that we also have Alexander Zinchenko, it means that you have 2 players who can invert into the midfield, giving Declan Rice the ability and freedom to go high up the pitch. You don't sign for 100 million, whether you're a defensive midfielder, a central midfielder, or whatever you are going to be, and you cannot score 6 to 8 goals a campaign. Now, I've gone with 6 to 8 because I'm looking at Rodri, right? Rodri chips in with those important goals, right? 6 of them, 5 of them, 7 of them every single campaign. And I'm not saying these are only Premier League goals. He can spread the goals across all competitions, especially the Champions League and the Premier League. If he can score 2 goals in group stages, 1 goal or 2 in the knockout stages, and then another 4 goals in the Premier League or 5 goals in the Premier League, playing at the best of that midfield, that will be all right. I think we have already seen a redefinition of that defensive pivot. You no longer have to be the Claudio Makelele. You no longer have to win the ball back and sit and rest. You get a lot of involvement in play. You get a lot of freedom to go high up the pitch, create chances, and do all the fascinating things on the ball. Now, while we were signing Declan Rice for 100 million, these were the stories that we were told. 1, he's got the ability to have so much on the ball. He can score many goals if you let him to. If he goes to a club like Arsenal that have progressive play, he will score goals. My expectations of Declan Rice is he must have a minimum of 6 to 8 goals per campaign. That is the minimum. That is the bare minimum. I don't want to have another defensive midfielder scoring 1 goal in 7 campaigns, 2 goals in 7 campaigns, right? The way Arsenal operate is very clear. Everyone is a goal scorer. Everyone is a creator. So if Declan Rice comes in for 100 million, the goals must come. So for me, that is the first expectation. The second expectation follows very closely, and it is assists. Again, the talk about him being a creator. The talk about people envisioning him as the next Frank Lampard has been absolutely, amazing, right? We have signed the next, Frank Lampard and everything. Arsenal are getting the next Frank Lampard. He must give us the return. He must give us the output. It's a record signing, your Arsenal's record signing. And I've gone with 10 to 20 assists per season, minimum. Now, I don't have a problem if he goes with 30, if he goes and produces 30 assists in a campaign, but in the position where he's going to play, in that position where he's going to play, I expect him to release as many players and as many times as possible. We've got Gabriel Martinelli, inverting inside on the left. We've got Saka inverting inside on the right. We've got Gabriel Jesus, again, always running off the shoulders of defenders. Can you pick that pass, right? And for me, Declan has got the ability to pick that pass 10 times, every single game. Because he's going to be playing with one of the best squads in the world. He's going to be playing with some of the most intelligent players in the Premier League, but also in Europe as well. So for me, if Saka makes the run, you've got to be able to find him, right? That is why we paid 100 million. It's not about the defensive, structure that Arsenal will form. It's also giving us that ability to go up front and, create as many chances as he can. So I expect more goals from Saka, more goals from Gabriel Martinelli, assisted by Declan Rice. That is my second. Expectation. Number 3 is trophies, and this is where Liverpool absolutely got it right. They signed Salah, Alisson, Van Dijk on a record fee, on a record total combined, and those 3 players have won them each and every trophy you can dream of at European level. Declan Rice has to provide that. And this is what I've gone for. I've gone with 1 trophy per season, right? Arsenal must win, and he must be able to win us a trophy per season. He is a leader. He is a winner, winning the UEFA Conference League with West Ham, right? So you're a leader, you are a winner as well, right? He must be able to win us a trophy every single campaign. From the Carling Cup that we only have, I think we have the record lowest Carling Cup, league cups in the world. Only 2. From the League Cup, which is the Carabao Cup now, the FA Cup, where we are the record holders, the Premier League that we last won in 2004, and the UEFA Champions League that we've not won ever in our lives. He's got to be able to provide at least a single trophy. Starting next season, by the way, is at least 1 trophy every single campaign. Like your 100 million pounds guarantees you a trophy every single campaign. He is our Messi. He is our Ronaldo. He is our Kaka. He is everything you've ever seen other clubs do, and we've not done it. It is in Declan Rice. The manager has gone with him because he trusts him. The manager has gone with him because he believes in him. And we've got to believe in him as well as a fan base. And these are our expectations. A trophy every single campaign. Now, for the first 5 years that he will spend at Arsenal, this is how I broke it down. 1, for the first 2 years at Arsenal, we must win the Premier League. So 2023, 2024, 2024, 2025, Arsenal must win the Premier League. Between those 2 seasons, right? We must do what Jack Grealish did. Because Jack Grealish apparently came in at Manchester City and his first season was horrendous. But in his second season, he managed to contribute a bigger part to the team that won the treble. So for me, Declan Rice must blend in as quickly as possible and exert his influence on this side so that we can win the Premier League in the next 2 seasons. That is number 1. Number 2, a UEFA Champions League trophy in the next 3 seasons. Okay? Now, qualification for the UCL is going to be as difficult as going and surviving hell. That is what's going to be. Newcastle, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United, Man City, Brighton, Brentford, Aston Villa. You listen to what you've just listened to is the number of quality sides that have the ability to get maximum points of any team in the Premier League next season. You can lose maximum points to Manchester City home and away. You can lose maximum points to Liverpool home and away. You can lose maximum points to Chelsea, Man United, Brentford, Aston Villa, Brighton, Tottenham Hotspur, and so many other clubs that are improving their finances. So qualifying for the UCL must be bare minimum with a player like Declan Rice. With a player of 100 million, it must be bare minimum. 2, winning the UCL in the first 3 years is a must. Like, if he doesn't win it, if he doesn't win the UCL, if he doesn't win the UCL in the first 3 years, his impact and effect will be questionable. But that is not the only one, right? We must win a second UCL, EPL. We must win a second Premier League title in 5 years. So during his first 5 years at Arsenal, we must win 2 Premier League titles. The first one might be easy because he's coming into a side that have that hunger and anger that we didn't win it against Manchester City last campaign. So he might be coming into a side that is going to be propelled and fueled by anger, and we might get it. So the second one, when you don't have a reason to go, oh, we should have won it last campaign. The second one is the difficult one, and he must bring it home. So 2 Premier League titles in two Premier League titles in 5 years, and a second UEFA Champions League final. This one is not a trophy. This one is a final because it happens. You could play 2 UCL finals in a space of 5 seasons, and you win 1. So we must have a second UCL final in the next 5 years. So these are my expectations in terms of tangible trophies. 2 Premier Leagues in 5 years, 2 FA Cups in 5 years, 1 Carling Cup in the next 5 years, and 1 UCL. Those are 6 trophies that we must realize with Declan Rice coming into the side. Those are my expectations purely. I'm not reading it from somewhere. It's coming from what I want. Not what I think, what I want, right? Expectation number 4. The trophies on our side, right? Expectation number 4. He must be able to attract big names by raising the standard. It's what Virgil van Dijk has done. It's what Alisson has done. The moment you sign a player like Virgil van Dijk, the moment you sign a player like Alisson, the standard at the club rises, right? The standard raises, the quality raises. So with Declan Rice, you don't expect the same standard. With Declan Rice, you don't expect the same, quality. We expect the quality, the standards to exponentially rifle through the roofs. And I mean an Arsenal side that plays good football, an Arsenal side that defends well, an Arsenal side that controls games, an Arsenal side that scores many goals, an Arsenal side that can sustain leads or even come back from behind to win on 2-0 deficits and even 3-0 deficits. That's what I'm talking about. Because Liverpool, the only trophy they've won, the only Premier League trophy they've won, that is what they did. They could win starting with a 2-0 deficit. They could win starting with a 3-0 deficit, right? So I expect that. And that should be able to attract big names. We should be able to go, we want Lautaro Martinez. And Martinez goes, I'm going to play with Rice, okay? Now, it's not easy to create that. It's not easy to create that, especially when you're English, you know? If you're Messi, Ronaldo, Van Nistelrooy, Abramovich, that is easy, right? You can easily create that halo effect by signing for a club, not halo effect, by ripple effect, when you sign for a club and, a couple of successive signings come just to play with you. When you Declan Rice and those players are not English, you must be able to raise your standards through the roof. All right? Number 5, he must live as a legend. He must live as a legend. The players that we have signed in recent years that have promised so much and delivered so little include, but not limited to, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, one, leaving the club as an indisciplined prat. That is too shallow an expectation for a record signing. Probably not a record signing, but it was 63 million euro signing. Nicolas Pepe, to an extent that the club cannot even find where to sell him. We expected so much, we got so little as well. Right? Olivier Giroud. Giroud did not actually give us, cost a lot of money, but the hype and the time we gave him. Mesut Ozil. Ozil won us 3 FA Cup, 3 FA Cups. Is it 3 FA Cups or 4? Right? 1 under Mikel Arteta and 3 under Arsene Wenger. Right? So he won 4, I think 4 FA Cups. But I do not think we brought him to win the FA Cup. Ozil and Sanchez should have won us the Premier League. I think Sanchez is dubbed as a success at Arsenal because of the goals and the way he raised the standard, but we won nothing as well. So none of those players can claim to be a legend at Arsenal Football Club. None. Rice, for 100 million, we want a statue. And that statue must come from winning 6 titles in the next 6-7 years, right? If we can win six trophies in the next 6-7 years, if he lives, he's a legend. He's an absolute legend. So for me, he must live as a legend, and he must leave his legacy like very visible and intact. Hit the like button if you agree with my expectations for Declan Rice. Like I said, 500 likes, we get my expectations for Kai Havertz, which are actually brutal, and my expectations for Julian Timber. I've not done expectations for quite some time, but I'm going to do expectations for each and every player in that Arsenal squad. I'll see you right in the next one, especially expectations for next season.